welcome back. I'm here with Ann and we're going to connect again for our second session all about posture. What are we going to talk about today, Ann?
Hi everyone, welcome back to the videos. The main point of being here today is so that I can continue talking about posture. I touched on it on my last video, mostly just about how to sit in a chair and a few quick points. But since posture is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves at any time, I wanted to kind of run through a sort of like I call nose to toes idea of what the main points are that you can watch out for.
So I take it that what you're talking about is not just as simple as standing up straight.
No, it's not. Although I like the idea of that voice in our head, but when we think about standing up straight, we often do the wrong thing. Posture is at its heart being in balance around a central axis. So that's why we want our feet under our shoulders and our pelvis level and our head where it's supposed to be. Ultimately, we are at our strongest when we are in that position. We can move our bodies in any way we need to, and we can withstand forces coming at us. So it's about being very strong and in motion.
And can you walk us through how we would go about relearning this?
Yes, there's a few things. It is about relearning. As small babies, when we're first learning how to stand, we spend a lot of our time actually figuring out how to find our core muscles, what to actually do. When we watch babies figuring this out, it's amazing. And then a few years later, we kind of learn that we don't need to do all that stuff. We can get away with being a little lazy, and then we do that forever. So I want us to relearn the main things about posture. So they are essentially, I know you can't see my feet, but what I want you to try to do is stand with your feet shoulder width apart. So that's not over here, it's not over here. Essentially drop your feet right under your shoulders. You also want your toes going in the same direction as you are, which is like this. A lot of people stand with their feet a little more like that, and you're not in balance at all. When you do that, you're always constantly moving in different directions. But with your feet in the same direction as you are, you're stable side to side, and you're always ready to take a step. Next thing we're looking at is the position of your hips. We want your hip bone over your ankles. We also, main thing is looking at the rotation of your hips. So if I stand myself forward, I'm going to stand up on my stool here. Essentially, you don't want to be doing this. You want to be level here. There's a small curve in your lower spine, not a big one. I like to tell people you shouldn't be able to put your teacup down on your bottom. So your hips should be flat in the front, a little bit of a curve in the back. Generally, in order to accomplish that, you need to contract your abdominal muscle. We have this wonderful muscle called transverse that runs all the way around here. And we let it go. We can still stand, totally no problem. But if we contract it, it actually creates a shelf that our upper body can sit on our lower body, and it stabilizes our pelvis. Next main thing is when you do that, a lot of us will do this. There's still that little bit of a tilt. So instead of thinking about what's going on in your back, think about what's going on here. Your ribs basically should be pointing downwards. Let me rephrase that into a better picture. Our diaphragm sits in here, like an upside down bowl that should be pointing directly at your feet. But if we tilt our posture, it's pointing off over there. So imagine you've got a headlight inside your ribs there, and you want these down. So this contracts to bring these down here, giving you a nice stable position. The next thing most people do is, yes, great, I can drop my ribs, but I'm gonna do this. So as your ribs are in position, I want you to put your shoulder blades back down. So put this down, put this down. Now you're getting a nice line of balance. And this position, your head should want to go up and back because our head tends to follow our shoulders. Put my shoulders forward, my head can go forward. Put my shoulders back, my head has to come back. It's very hard to get my head forward. And the main thing I want for you out of all of this is to get your head back here. As we're walking and moving along, our head should not enter the room first. Our toes at the front enters the room first. Our head's kind of getting dragged along behind. So, walk through again. My feet are flat, pointing in the same direction as I am, and I feel my heels and my toes. My hips are level and not wiggling forward and backwards. The core is engaged, my rib is down, my shoulders are down, but my head is up and high. Those few points, you stand here. Now, everyone's sitting here going, breathe. Stand here, feel all those points and breathe. By doing this, you've actually put your rib cage in its most effective position. So breathe. And relax and just let your mind remember, oh, this feels pretty good. So if we can keep doing that, that'll help you feel stronger all the time.
And Ann, is there an exercise in particular that you would recommend to help with this?
Yes, while there are several, and we can run through a few, and even the shoulder one from last time does help, if you're going to say, I want to have my one favorite exercise, which I like to call grab a wall. So what you're going to do is step back to what is hopefully, in your case, a real wall and not this closet door. You want to be about 8 centimeters away from the wall with your feet. Do not try to do this with your feet against the wall. You will be unstable and you'll fall over, which is not a good look. So, feet away from the wall. What you're going to do is put your hips back against the wall. However, let's be clear. It's your sacrum, the bone at the base of your spine, that's touching the wall, not here. We're not doing these things. We're doing posture. So, my sacrum is against the wall. Next, I'm putting my shoulder blades against the wall. Now, I want to put my hand in here and check to see how much space I have. The ideal world is there's enough space for my hand to fit in, but not enough to wiggle around. So, no, yes. If for some reason you do not have the motion in your shoulders to be able to do this, then don't try this. Most people can put their hand in their low back, but if for some reason you can't, then do not stress your muscles in that way. But if you can, my hips are against the wall, my shoulder blades are against the wall, I have to contract my abdominal muscles to stay here, because if not, my body's going to want to do all kinds of funny things. I put my head against the wall. And that's the base of my skull here, not here. People with very forward heads have a lot of time getting their head back, but that's what you're aiming for, is the bottom of your skull against the wall, the shoulder blades, and your sacrum. Then, if you can, put your hand against the wall. Now, and again, contract your core, make sure you've got all those 4 points strong. At this point, you should be thinking, I might have to work to stay here. So you know you're doing an exercise. If this is easy for you, that's fantastic. However, now let's try to move. Try to move your hand along the wall, keeping everything else where it's supposed to be. Say, hi, Bosnar Health. Ideally, you'd be able to do this with both hands. I'm holding onto this microphone here so you can hear me and I don't wave my hands around, but try to do it with both hands. Try maybe doing them separately. A lot of people have more range in one shoulder than the other, so you may actually find this much easier to do one side than the other, and that's okay. The point of doing an exercise is that slowly you always get stronger. So, here's what you can take away from this. Grab a wall and get strong and tall.
Thank you so much, Ann, for the second video, and I'm actually obsessed with grab a wall and stand tall. I feel like it's an amazing way to remember everything. So there you have it, Bosnar Health family. We hope to see you in our third video, and please let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Feel free to reach out to us at info@bosnarhealth.com, and until then, we'll see you soon. Bye!